they blaming Trump for everything?
Artur, do you have more string?
Bullshit. Deficits when Trump announces he's running for the nomination in 2015.
But the truth is not smart either, because now he's on Indiana.
Yeah, but is that to do with
1, 2. Well, again, another day in paradise, another day in the city of Calgary, in our beloved Dominion of Canada. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what is about to happen to our country. Tomorrow, apparently, we are going to have a call for federal election. It looks like the federal party is going to announce that there is going to be an election coming, and I wanted to use this opportunity to let the people know about our endorsements, and for obvious reasons, for the treachery, for what the Conservative Party did to us during this big test that we witnessed for the past few years, and of course what the Liberal Party did to us by destroying our economy, murdering people, jumping us like guinea pigs, and for the biggest treachery that this country has ever seen. We cannot vote for the Liberals, we cannot vote for the NDP, they are full-blown communists and socialists, and we cannot vote for Conservatives, and it looks like you are watching too much CBC. And that's why you're so messed up, lady. Stop watching that garbage. Don't allow them to brainwash you like this, because then you start acting like an animal. And I guess that's what they want. They want you to act like an animal. But you're not an animal. God did not create you to be a pig or a dog or a kitty. You're a human being, so start acting like human being. Anyway, going back to the topic, we cannot vote for the ruling parties because they have betrayed us, they have destroyed us, and they're still destroying us, they're still committing acts of treason. So we are endorsing People's Party of Canada, Maxime Bernier. That's the only politician that stood with us, marched with us, bled with us, was even arrested for attending a rally. Can you believe it? In our beloved Canada, a politician, elected politician, was arrested and charged for just simply being with people. Unbelievable. If you said that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people would never ever believe you. But this has become a reality in the past few years, where the law does not apply anymore. It's lawlessness. The judges are crooks, rogue, woke, not following the law, not willing to follow justice. Our protection has been removed, charter rights and freedoms taken away from us. Our fundamentally guaranteed rights have been stolen from us by Section 1, which is unbelievable, subject to interpretation. So if you have a psychopathic, crazy person, it's up to his interpretation of what he thinks applies, which is insanity at the highest levels. So the only party that we have right now, listen to me, the only party that we have right now that is willing to stand with the people is the People's Party of Canada. So we must endorse them if in fact tomorrow there is going to be an election. I am calling on the good people of Canada. Do not vote for traitors. Do not vote for the liberal psychopaths. Do not vote the Communist, Socialist NDP. Do not vote for the so-called conservatives because they have proven to be traitors to Canada and to Canadian people. Do not vote for them. They're wicked, evil. You're just a representation of that wickedness and evil. I can't believe how many messed up Canadians are right now. Completely brainless. If there is any brain left, they're so brainwashed that the only thing that is there is marijuana and fentanyl, nothing else. And that's what he's speaking. It's a shocker that Canada is bent on destruction. The Canadians actually are completely bent on destruction. It looks like they want to hurt. But God will have his final say. But if you're crazy, keep doing what you're doing, keep voting for the evil. But if you're not, so I'm not speaking to the crazy people because at this moment they're beyond salvation, only God can save them. But I want to address the good people in Canada. If you're good, if you consider yourself being a good person, please vote for a change, not for a lesser of two evils. Start voting for good candidates. Candidates that love you. Candidates that marched with you. Candidates that are willing to change the status quo. The people that are willing to uncover the level of corruption like we have never seen before. The people that are willing to bring accountability, checks and balances back to our beloved nation. People that want to put accountability on judges, police officers, law enforcement agencies, and the crooked politicians. People that are not running in this next election so they can get a pension, but they're running in this election that have a desire to bless you and to change the evil that has been done to our country. Majority of the politicians don't run anymore to represent the people. Majority of the politicians are running only to get a pension, so they can have few years in power and then the rest of their lives $15,000 a month. Excuse me, why? Why we taxpayers have to give those devils $15,000 a month? For what? Let them work. Many of them are leaving political arena in their 40s, in their 50s. They still can work. Go to work like the rest of us. Work. Don't just suck like a leech from the blood of Canadians. But in order to change this, you have to have the willing representatives of the people, not career politicians, but people that are willing to represent us and do what's right. In the United States of America, we are already witnessing this. They have a government that is working for the people, is made by the people, and they're doing a great job. Look what is happening. The only people that have a problem with Dodge are the crooks and the thieves and the liars. Every good man says, bring it on. We want accountability. Let us know where the money is going, how our representatives are spending our tax dollars. Those that don't want that are thieves. You have to understand that. Those that do not want accountability are con artists and thieves. Thieves are afraid of Dodge. Wicked, evil psychopaths are afraid of Dodge. So what is going to be, my fellow Canadians? Are you going to keep doing what you have been doing for the past 40, 50, 60 years? We must vote for the lesser of two evils, or you're going to stop and change. And you say, never again I will vote for evil. Never again I'm going to support corrupted politician just because he has a fancy title or the right color in his party. Enough of this nonsense. So, there are a number of people that are going to run in this upcoming election. From the People's Party of Canada, with the leader Maxime Bernier. In my opinion, at this moment, he is the only leader that can get us out of trouble at this moment in this season. He is the man that marched with us. He is the man that was willing to pay the price. He is the man that is willing to uncover the level of corruption that we have in this country. There is no one else that wants to bring accountability. There is no one else within the federal parties that wants to bring justice for what the ruling parties have done to the Canadian people. You cannot talk about justice if you move on from the abuse of power that we witnessed in the past few years. You cannot talk about justice until some that are responsible for what happened to Canadians are brought to justice. Maxime Bernier is willing to do that. Pierre Poilievre is a traitor to the Canadian people. He works for the globalist agenda. He works for WEF. He works for Schwab and other psychopaths, the globalists. And so does his crooked party. This party should not be called Conservative Party. It should be called the Crooked Party of Canada. It's up to us. It's up to us, the people, to do the right thing. It's up to us. We have the power to change our nation. Or you can keep doing what you have been doing and pay the consequences later on. There are such a shocking things that we have uncovered. 1%, only 1% in British Columbia. The ships that are coming to our shores, only 1% are being checked. 99% of the ships are being let into our country unchecked by the Liberal NDP and the Conservative government. Fentanyl comes like a river, destroying our people, murdering our children. Unless you have a good leader that is willing to do what's right, this river of death will continue. The river of death will keep coming until we have a willing government that puts stop to it. We also have uncovered that it was the government, and is still the government, that is manufacturing fentanyl in Canada. It's only coming from China. It's Canadian government that is manufacturing fentanyl and freely is giving it to the people on the streets. 5 different drugs are being administered in prison to every prisoner twice a day by government. Fentanyl, cocaine, and other drugs. This is government. This is the Canadian government that is doing this to their own people. And we can stop this. Federal election is giving us an opportunity to stop this craziness. To stop it. You can stop it. Or you can keep voting for the same devils over and over again. Don't vote for evil. Stop voting for evil. Start voting for good candidates, or pay the price. Canada has already fallen. Economy is disaster, and this is just the beginning, unless you do the right thing. do the right thing. Again, Maxime Bernier is willing to clean the house. Will you give him that opportunity, or will you vote for the same devils that locked you like animals and kept you on a leash? Conservatives, liberals, NDPers are all the same, working for the same master. You have a choice. You can be a good dog, muzzled and on the leash, or you can stop the insanity and do the right thing. Well, that's from me. Shane, if you want to come and take it over. The only thing we can do at this moment is asking the people to do the right thing. Will they do it? I don't know. I hope they do. Well, history in Canada is teaching us that the bigger the liar, the more corrupted con artist you are, the more votes you will get in this country. So I'm not very hopeful. But at least we have to do our part. After the election, I'll be able to look in the mirror and I'll be able to say, I did what I could. I won the people. And they have chosen. I say to you, choose wisely.
Thank you, Art. So I'd like to talk about the judicial system, but I will start off, make a few comments about the unelected banker who has now replaced Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney, former manager of the Bank of Canada. He left in 2013, was parachuted into the position manager of the Bank of England, according to a former UK Prime Minister, Liz Truss. His track record wasn't good. He poured too much money back into the system. And I've been told that the money in circulation in Canada has doubled during the Justin Trudeau days, and that is actually the prime cause of inflation. Moving forward, I noticed the information screen at the LRT station was telling me Canada is paying for ads in the United States warning Americans that tariffs are a tax. I'm not sure if these funds are being paid by taxpayers, probably. What's interesting is that I think that's a message that Canadians need to hear, frankly. Booing the American national anthem in our hockey arenas. Is that what Mark Carney meant when he said, as he builds the economy stronger, an economy he helped to build since 2021 as the informal behind-the-scenes financial advisor to Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland? Now he realizes it needs to be built stronger, and we will move forward in humility because this is Canada. Is that what booing our cousins from the South is in our hockey arenas? So on the subject of this ad, telling Americans tariffs are a tax. Folks, I think Americans understand that. When I listen to some of the higher quality news programs, such as Bloomberg Surveillance, they have that down. They do understand that every tariff President Trump brings into existence, or he removes exemptions from paying tariffs that have been collecting over the years in favor of the big Auto 3, or if he sets in motion a new tariff, the applicable Americans involved in that sector, or it could be across-the-board tariff that you see immediately in retail outlets, Americans get it. And that's those who are critical or concerned about this policy wonder, will it cause inflation, for example, in America? I think that ad needs to be here, educating Canadians that we don't pay the Donald Trump tariffs, but the tariffs that Mark Carney now sets in motion, we'll be paying those. And in some senses they are like a tax. So, moving forward, I'd like to talk about the judicial system, and we'll just start by announcing Thursday, April the 10th, that's coming up soon. The Crown is appealing Derek Reimer's not guilty verdict. Justice Fradsham found Derek Reimer not guilty. Not guilty of mischief, not guilty of creating a disturbance at the Seton Library. The Crown's not happy with this. in a vague statement issued on a one-page letter that nobody signed. We've just listened to Art talking about how the criminals don't like accountability, so they don't like DOJ, they don't like the Department of Government Efficiency, looking into where does the money go. Nobody in the provincial special crown prosecutor's office is willing to sign their name. And I don't blame them, because their argument is not just dodgy, it's a lie. They're saying that Judge Fradsham committed errors of law. He committed no errors of law. He looked at the statutes and the thresholds and the elements of the offense, including interrupting the normal use of a public facility, and determined that's not what happened when Derek Reimer walked into the Seton Library, walked into the adult programming room where the little children are assembled. So the man in the wig and the dress and the lipstick, and usually wearing a beard in mockery of womanhood, displays his sexual proclivities in front of little children. Yeah, he walked into that room. He was quoting scripture. He was denouncing the sexualization of children as a perversion. But what Justice Fradsham said in his verdict was, Miss Hill continued to sing to the children. And this is the one time I've listened to a judge talk about reading with royalty as if he listened to the evidence being presented by city employees who acknowledge, no folks, it's not just about reading books to little children. As disturbing as the books they are reading are, they also get the children to play dress up in front of the man craving their audience. And the judge mentioned this. He heard this. In other words, unlike Justice Karen Molly in another Derek Reimer political show trial, he didn't just go to the website and absorb the city's propaganda. This is a family-appropriate event where the drag queen, or perhaps the drag monarch or drag king, reads to children. No, Justice Fradsham is a competent judge who looked at the evidence before him and said, once again, Miss Hill continued to read to the children. The library, the Seton Library, continued to be open. The employees of the library continued to do their job. He did not interrupt the normal use or normal operation of that library. Not guilty. And yet the Crown's special office, the oppressions, they claim Justice Fradsham made an error in law. So they're appealing it, and they will present their warping of material fact, law, logic, and language on the 10th of April, and we're going to be there, folks. So this session, this appeal, begins at 10 a.m. Thursday, April 10th. We will be outside the courthouse at 8:30 a.m. for a courthouse church service. And I want to mention a couple things of why this is so important to Derek Reimer. Derek Reimer, in another matter, he was found guilty of the bogus charge of criminal harassment by one Justice Karen Molly, whose warping of language in the statute is right up there with D.B. Lebrenz and Gordon Krinke. And I don't have time to go there, but I will just point out she found him guilty of criminal harassment based on a 90-second conversation with librarian Shannon Slater at the Saddletown Library. He was given a 3-year sentence, even though the maximum sentencing for a summary trial in this matter was 2 years. Gave him a 3-year sentence, 2 years house arrest, followed by 1 year probation. 2 plus 1 is 3. Judge Karen Molly, she needs to revisit grade 2 arithmetic. Please do so as soon as possible. He has rigorous conditions confining him to his house. With few exceptions, they've shut down his mission, or his leadership, I should say, of Mission 7. There's so much there that is amiss, but I want to stay focused here. My point is this. One of his conditions of sentencing, house arrest, not allowed to have any friends or family visit him in his home. I know of someone who's trying to turn his life around. He went down some wrong paths. Someone was aggravating him, provoking him, pressuring him to sell him drugs. And he thought the best solution in that moment was to lay into him in an alleyway. That's called physical assault. He's in house arrest. He's allowed to have friends over. He's allowed to have family over. Why is there this unevenness? Because there's nothing the judicial system of Canada hates more than free speech. When it comes to violence, it seems to look the other way. Oh yes. And so going to court is an authorized visit. Derek Reimer is allowed to be there, and that's why he's looking forward to visiting, fellowshipping, socializing with his friends, and we're going to be there for him. We'll be there at 8:30 till 10. Some of us will want to be in the courtroom. Some of us will want to stay. Pastor Art is going to be there. He's generously providing his support. We'll have his sound equipment there. Derek has asked me to be the MC. So show up. This is going to be very important. I'll mention this at the end. I'm going to move forward and point out to you the architecture of charges Derek Reimer has faced and why the Seton Library not guilty verdict is so damaging to the state. Why it is so important to them to appeal this not guilty verdict. It's because everything done to Derek Reimer in the year 2023, Seton Library is the prime mover. It's the foundation of their house of cards, their succession of bogus charges, bogus arrests, bail conditions that had the effect of suppressing, if not crushing completely, his free speech. It all begins with Seton. When the judge says he's not guilty, he's acknowledging those were bogus charges and everything else you did this to Derek flowed from this poisonous tree. Let's talk about what happened in Seton in February. Now, I talked about the fact that he went into the programming room. He was physically extracted by two burly drag defenders who pushed him onto his back. It's all on videotape. Tucker Carlson was drawn to this case for that very reason. Here is a peaceful protester, and they're violently pushing him onto his back. What did Derek do? He got up after a couple seconds. He said to his assailants, "That wasn't very loving, was it?" Exactly. There's your love and inclusiveness on full display. And who set this in motion, if not Justin Trudeau? You go back to the year 2015, 2016. Just look for the photos, folks. You can just Google it, Justin Trudeau, Pride Parade, and you'll see him, the center of attention, walking down the street, arms raised to the heavens in reverence, eyes closed in this spectacle. Why? Pride, LGBTQI2S+, gender fluidity theory, rainbow curriculum, inclusiveness. It's an official state religion. And when you're arrested for protesting the sexualization of children, it's the religious police who do it. Calgary's finest, the Sicherheitsdienst, the Public Safety Unit, the Hate Crimes Unit. And Derek Reimer, 1 year after Justin Trudeau issued a decree that had the effect of criminalizing free speech, criminalizing any peaceful protest, demanding changes to public policy, which certainly includes the official state religion of Canada, Pride. Anything done under that banner, anything done in that name of Pride, the police have to look the other way. Doesn't matter if a man is showing his genitalia to children in a change room in Canyon Meadows or on a street pride parade in Toronto. The police can't touch it. They can't do anything. Why? It's the official state religion, as false as it is. Sacrificing the minds of little children in the sacred shrines that they call reading to royalty. That's not what the proponents of drag reading in Canada call it. The masterminds, UBC Professor Harper Keenan, drag reader and author, Little Miss Hot Mess, that's his nom de plume. What do they call it in their online article? The playful practice of queer imagination in early childhood. They use the phrase reading to filth. That's what they think of our children, our cisgendered children. There's your love and inclusiveness on full display. In an act of dignity, Derek refused to press charges against his assailants. The two on-site officers, and I commend them for their honesty, They showed up at the library. They could see there had been a brouhaha, didn't meet the threshold of creating a disturbance in the legal context, but people are upset. Derek's been pushed to the floor, and the library employees are saying, you have to leave, you have to leave. What did Derek Reimer do? He looked at the officers. Will you arrest me if I don't leave? They said, yes, yes we will. You're trespassing now. Unfortunately, they get it. It's private property. Oh, well, it's a public library. It's private property. Well, our taxes paid for it. It's private property. Oh, that sidewalk over there. And here comes Calgary's finest right now. That sidewalk over there. If this man, Art Pawlowski, has a rally there, he's been told you'll be arrested by a city solicitor. So we're over here. We're over here. Why? Because that's the private property of the corporation, the administration side of the city of Calgary. The officers got it. It's private property. They're asking you to leave. You're being trespassed. Derek complied. He left. The on-site officers found there was no cause for a charge. Thank you. Thank you. We still have some good officers who are honest. The Mayor Jody Gondek didn't like that. She tweeted on social media, no more excuses. And Chief Constable Mark Neufeld, he got the message. So what happens? The hate crimes unit shows up on Derek Reimer's door, starts harassing him. He was never charged with a hate crime. They're just there to harass citizens. That's what they do, the Sicherheitsdienst. Why do I call it that? It's a reference to history, and it's underscoring the fact that the Public Safety Unit and the Hate Crimes Unit have now become organs of pure state security, preserving, defending, and enforcing the ideologies of Justin Trudeau. Oh yes. 2 bogus charges, criminal harassment, mischief. Justice Fratchen said not guilty. You looked at the evidence, not guilty. Crown has to push back on that because of everything that now is set in motion. He's arrested, he's in the remand center, and now they get to apply bail conditions, crushing his free speech. He's released. And now we have a second political show trial set in motion associated with Signal Hill Library. He wasn't anywhere near Signal Hill Library. He was in the parking lot of another strip mall. And now enters another department of the Sicherheitsdienst. And I'm referring to you, Constable, Chief Constable Mark Neufeld. You might be nominally in charge. Well, I really don't have any control over what my men do. Too bad. You are nominally the Chief Constable, or you are complicit. And now we talk about memes. A manifestation of the dopiness of political correctness, if there ever was one. The dopiest sounding acronym I've ever heard. Well, Bob, how's your career going? Well, I just got drafted into memes. It's going well. I'm feeling very memesy. What is memes? It is the Major Event Emergency Management Section. It's another form of the Sicherheitsdienst. They like to stay in the shadows. So Derek Reimer was joined by friends some 200 meters as the crow flies from the front entrance of Signal Hill Library. He had bail conditions. You got to be 200 meters away. The rest of us have to be 100 meters. That was a safe and inclusive access bylaw. The Major Events Emergency Management Section that never shows up in court, working in the shadows, ordered one Constable Robert Schmidt. We know where Derek Reimer is. He's here. Go and arrest him. There was another good judge, Justice Pepper. At that bail hearing, after that second arrest now, all of this set in motion by the bogus charges at Seton Library. And she asked the question, when the police approached Derek Reimer and said, you're within 200 meters, and then they arrest him, is that in the same conversation? In other words, did they not just warn him? Did they not just simply ask him to step back? No. Robert Schmidt admitted in court he had no discretion. He's been ordered by the Major Events Emergency Management Section to arrest Derek Reimer. Why? Because they were illegally surveilling his cell phone comms. That's how they knew he was there. And Robert Schmidt had to come up with a story of how he knew Derek Reimer was in breach. And his story in court was, well, I looked on Google and we knew, and defense lawyer Andrew McKenzie pointed this out, it must have been his laptop. Because he was able to have that application impose a circle describing a 200-meter radius around the Signal Hill Library front entrance you can't even see from that Tim Hortons, from that strip mall. And that's not a function available. That's not part of the normal use of that app on your smartphone. You can't do that. Derek Reimer couldn't have done that. He has no way of determining that. And the officer claims, well, I was on my laptop, and I did it, and here it is, and I've got a picture of it. It's funny because in the video from the officer's body cam, you don't see him carrying his laptop out of the vehicle. Okay, well, here I can see there's an imaginary circle here, and yet he's within it. He's not doing any of those things. He just walks into the vehicle, walks, Mr. Reimer, you're under arrest. That's it. It took 15 seconds. The story is dodgy. They have to make up something after the fact. But even if that were the case, all of that surveilling, spying on Derek Reimer and his friends, setting him up, a major task force involved. Imagine the resources wasted on prosecuting free speech when we've got unsolved murders in this city. Robert Schmidt is there. He's the front man. And we know from his testimony, he got the radio call, arrest Reimer. It had breach or no breach, arrest Reimer. So, that's the Signal Hill Library. Let's talk about the Saddletown Library. What's happening on that day? Before he goes to have a 90-second calm, rational conversation and confrontation with a library manager about the Reading with Royalty program. He's in the Meridian on Country Hills Boulevard. He's at least 300 meters away from that library. And Karen Mawley, who found him guilty of criminal harassment and other matters of breach, argued, you're projecting your voice into the zone. Well, that was never specified, and the judge who came up with the breach conditions in play then, that being Justice Pepper. Breach conditions, breach terms, they're meant to be extremely specific. They mean what they say. She never said anything. Be at least 200 meters away from a library. Oh, don't project your voice there. Judge is just making stuff up. Karen Mawley. So, Constable Weatherall from the Public Safety Unit was there in a parked vehicle spying on Derek Reimer. Folks, the higher courts have determined this is something police ought not to do. You are not to entrap people who are on bail conditions. You are not to spy and surveil and set them up. And Andrew McKenzie said it very succinctly, the defense lawyer for Derek Reimer, Your Honor, this was a gotcha moment. Oh, was it ever an entire free speech task force set up to surveil, to illegally spy on cell phone comms without a warrant, and then call Robert Schmidt up? Constable Schmidt, arrest Derek Reimer. He's outside the Tim Hortons. Go now. A total warping of due process, complete disregard for the rulings of the higher courts when it comes to breach conditions. But that's what they do. That's what we're living in. I know we have, including Artur Pawlowski, we have some Polish brothers and sisters here. They might be familiar with the works of a Polish director, Pawlowski, in his film Blind Chance. It's a remarkable portrait of the dystopian features of Soviet bloc Poland. And I was just speaking with Christoph here last night. Is Canada there yet? Are we in a situation, as that film portrayed, that no matter what path we go down, there's a dark outcome because of the totalitarian nature of our government and the police forces that obey its political will? So we talked about that. The answer is basically yes. That's a discussion we can have. And that's where we've landed, and nothing demonstrates that better than the treatment of this man here, Artur Pawlowski, and the treatment of Derek Reimer, and these 3 political show trials, amongst others. I don't have time to mention them all coming from Seton Library, Signal Hill Library, and Saddletown Library. Why? Because Justin Trudeau's agenda to sexualize children, to indoctrinate them into gender fluidity theory so they have body parts chopped off in the name of gender-affirming care, apparently that supersedes everything. Folks, we got to stand up to that. And so I'll ask you once again, Thursday, 10th of April, please write it down in your calendars. 8:30 a.m. We're going to be outside the Calgary Court Center. We're going to have a time of fellowship, prayer, courthouse church service for Derek Reimer. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. Again, a great information. And that's what is going to save us, is the right information. The Bible says the truth shall set the captives free. It's all about the truth. It's all about the information. I just want to end it with this, and we're going to move to Larry. He's going to be singing for us. I want to just, again, tell you why we are in such a big trouble is because we have traitors as politicians. If we had normal politicians that actually work for the people, this would never ever happen. But because all the ruling parties, again, NDP, communist socialists, liberal Nazis, and the so-called conservatives that are simply the traitors, they should never be called conservatives. They should be called corrupted Party of Canada, has betrayed us. And we have no representation in government at this moment. That's why we, the people of Canada, the good people, if you do not fall into this category, then that's not for you. This is not the message for you. But we, the good people of Canada, are standing with the People's Party of Canada and its leader, Maxime Bernier. And we pray and we hope that good people in this country will vote for people that want to represent them. Not traitors, not murderers, not con artists in Parliament, at the legislature, or in City Hall. Because this abuse of power will never stop. The police abuse of power, the Crown prosecutors abuse of power, the courts abuse of power will never stop until we have a new set of government. The only way to stop those people, those lawbreakers and murderers, is by replacing them with people that actually want to work for you, not against you. When that happens, when we will have a representation again, we will revisit what happened to us in the past 5 years. We will get the memos. We will get the letters. We will get the orders that were given to the police and where those orders were coming from. And some of those agents of the Nazi Party of Canada will be charged. We will go after some of those people. We will go after the chief of police and the rogue and woke police officers. We will go after the crooked politicians. We will follow the money. Why they did what they did to us. And we will go after the crooked judges that were willing to break the law. For what? A bag of money? A promise? Why they did this to us? I believe the Canadians deserve to know. We deserve to know. So be blessed. See you next time. We're going to stand strong. You see, over there is City Hall. But we cannot even have a rally at City Hall because we were threatened by the city lawyer, Colleen Sinclair, that if we dare to do a rally, if we dare to do the protest at City Hall, we will be arrested. We will be charged and arrested. Can you imagine? In Canada, you cannot have a peaceful assembly because you're being threatened with arrest. Why? Because your political views and your ideology is different than the one of the communists, socialists, and Nazis.
Hey, but they could have a pro-Hamas rally, but
You have psychopaths yelling from the river to the sea. You've got bloody murderers yelling from the river to the sea. That's protected by the law. You have Ukrainians standing for the highest level of corruption that we have ever seen in the political realm. Billions upon billions of dollars have been stolen by the Ukrainian government, but they are protected by the police and the government. But if you are a Christian and if you have a wrong ideology, you will face the wrath of the crooked agents of the state in Canada.
Can we say something?
So thank you so much for coming. No, you can't. So thank you so much for coming. We're going to start the songs, and we'll just keep plowing. We'll keep plowing. We'll keep standing for what's right. And I'm telling you, we have an opportunity in just a few days to vote for the right people. People's Party of Canada, Maxime Bernier. Be blessed.
are you ready to go to G7 coming up this summer? G7's coming up, man. Police state everything. Oh, sorry. Yes. Kananaskis in Calgary. Artur, I have a question for you.
Yes, we're stuck in the middle of food. And I'm wondering what him trying to do. It's so hard to keep the frown on my face. Better crack evil slap in my hand. Clowns to the left, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle of food. When it started off with lies, whipping over people to the spies. And the stitches come falling, shot in the air. Lockdowns! Lockdowns! Trying to make sense of it all, but I see it makes no sense at all. Pushing business into the grave. Well, don't think we will care. wondering how to stay out of jail. Got stopper to the left, tyrant to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of food. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle of food. At a crack, nothing so cruel. Here I am, stuck in the middle of food. What do you want? When do you want it? And how do you want it? There's an election coming up. The flu is here no more. Did it make you terrified? You look for contagion within the big eye. You bonded together under criminal spell. You're so cultish, yet you think that you're special. But you're a cheat. You don't know why on earth you live in fear. What's going on here? Your mask asphyxiates you. You've given up control. You're gonna wreck your body and erase your identity. I hope that you notice survival 99%. Yet you're so cultish, and yet you think that you're special. 'Cause you're a cheat. You don't widow. Why on earth you live in fear? What's going on here? Oh, it's gone. You're calling us again. You're calling us again. Don't pretend you're really a man when you're not blue. I come to stand where you face Godford. You'll get what you want. You're so cold, yet you think that you're special. But you're a sheep. You gone widow. Why on earth you live in fear? What's going on here? I don't belong here. Thank you very much. The check is in the mail.
What's the deal? Are you, like when you have the food out and stuff, just hold it over there? If you don't have food out, you over here, is that what you mean? Or?
Yeah, because we have been prohibited from
Oh, I know,
protesting
yeah.
at City
Yeah,
Hall,
yeah.
so this is a protest.
Right. But then on, is it Sundays? The food-
Sundays is like
Sundays
fun.
are the-
And the more runway, Calgary Airport in tracks. The sign of Gestapo rising up from the night. Up ahead in arrivals, the Inquisitor's light. Protests yield no avail. Prison for 3 nights. There they stood at the checkpoint. Tyrants beeping their guns. There's more where this began, right at the pit of hell. The box full of tension, you had better comply. Desperate boxes in detention, I sure hope they cry. Welcome to the hometown COVID Calgary. We tried to warn you before the troopers stormed you. Plenty of room at the hometown Calgary Calgary. And for months on end, they forced a lot of men. Their mind is a twisted, shoving sticks up our nose. Alberta Health, it has no qualms. Boys in blue jump on cue. TikTok dances in the courts, dispensing all evidence. No bribes from the agents, they're trying to call me intense. So I called the police. To my rights, you are blind. He said we have 3-piece in shock hooked up some vines. And then we hear the voices crying locked in the cell. Wake up in the middle of the night just to hear them say, welcome to the hometown COVID Calgary. We tried to warn you before the troopers stormed you. Plenty of room at the hometown COVID Calgary. And for months on end, they forced the law to bend. We're forced into vans, then 3 days on us. You are just prisoners here, just some friendly advice. Don't walk in the hallways, assaults can happen there. We feed you when it suits us. The next time, water and rice. Last thing I remember, breaking down the door, returning back home to the safety store. Your trust in the nightclub, conditioning to disease. This time just a big fire, the camps you'll never leave. Hotel COVID Calgary.